how the richest democracy in the world abandons Americans. And what got me started on this was last weekend I was watching TV, and I guess I was in a curmudgeonly mood because I was like questioning everything. What? You know, how can they? And suddenly this commercial comes on for a company that buys life insurance policies. And there's this older couple in the commercial, and one of them says, you know, to the camera, or says to the other, you know, we learned that we could sell our policy when a friend did so to pay their medical bills. And I'm going, wait a minute. We're the richest country in the world. The richest billionaires in the world. We have more money than anybody. I mean, we got more money than God. It's just, the United States is a fabulously rich nation. And senior citizens are having to sell their life insurance policies, depriving their children of any kind of inheritance or you know, benefit, you know, help at all, just to stay alive, just to pay their medical bills. And you know, I thought this isn't right. You know, you don't have people having to sell their life insurance policies in Taiwan or in South Korea or in Japan or in Costa Rica or in any of the European Union countries, because the total number of people who went bankrupt because somebody got sick in those countries is zero. It's 500,000 people every year in the United States. So I'm looking at this ad going, wow, this is really an ad about how sick and dysfunctional America's, you know, our healthcare system is. Why is that? In fact, you know, I posted this over at HartmannReport.com, and one of the people who reads our newsletter posted a reply saying that he's recovering from COVID and has been binge watching TV, and he's been binge watching Breaking Bad. And it's been a long time since Breaking Bad was a hot thing, you know. But the premise is that this guy had cancer. This high school science teacher, he had cancer, and he needed a lot of money to pay for his treatment, because this is America, right? And we don't have a national health care system. And so he started cooking meth to pay for his cancer treatment. It's just, you know, how do we miss this stuff, right? Then another ad comes out for a company that sells reverse mortgages. Now, you know, Tom Selleck, I'm sure, is a very nice guy, but are there really that many seniors who are now destitute and thus must wipe out the largest store of their wealth and their children's inheritance just to retire? Then came an ad for the Shriners Hospital for Children. And, you know, they're doing wonderful work, right? Taking care of kids who are born with birth defects and deformities. But why are we crowdsourcing health care for children in crisis? Why isn't that just like routinely provided for with our tax dollars? And then there was this ad for Danny Thomas's hospital, you know, the one that he started. And now this one is dealing with kids with cancer, and they're doing a lot of great cancer research, and God bless them. But again, why aren't we all funding stuff like this? Why do we need this in the richest country in the world? I mean, why don't we just have billionaires pay their income taxes? Oh, that's right. Since the Reagan Revolution, billionaires no longer pay income taxes for all practical purposes. And then that ad was followed by another one for colostrum. It's a milk product that is supposed to boost your immune system. And the ad's pitch lady said something like, there are over 90,000 chemicals in our environment that haven't been tested for toxicity. And damn, I thought she's right. Most of the developed world uses the precautionary principle. You've got to prove something's safe before you put it in our food supply. That's how it works in Europe. But here in the United States, you don't have to prove anything. You just pour it on, you know, dump it in the air, put it in the water, put it in their food. You know, line the packages that we get our take-home food with PFAS chemicals. No big deal. We'll just, you know, we'll continue poisoning people until finally we get sued. That's how it works in America. It's the libertarian strategy. I mean, watch Dark Waters, you know, the movie with Mark Ruffalo, if you want to see how this works, how the DuPont poisoned an entire community. And then in the next commercial break, Jeff Bridges comes on. He's a great guy. He's a great actor. And he's pitching a charity called No Kid Hungry, which turns out is a very, you know, it's a high-quality charity with a really good rating. But again, why do we have kids who are hungry in America? 1 in 5 American children is either suffering from hunger or malnutrition right now in the richest country in the world. It costs us an estimated $167 billion a year because of the damage that's being done to the brains and bodies of these kids. It costs us $167 billion a year, and the total cost to end all childhood poverty in the United States is or hunger in the United States is $25 billion. The amount of money that Musk, Bezos, Gates, and Zuckerberg added to their money bins just since 2020 is over $300 billion. We could end childhood poverty in the United States with $25 billion. But, you know, we could save $167 billion with a $25 billion investment, but we don't because it would require billionaires to pay their taxes. And how did we get there? How did we get to this point? Well, it's because 5 corrupt Republicans on the U.S. Supreme Court legalized bribery. They legalized corporate bribery in 1978 with the Bellotti decision. They legalized basically all political bribery in 2010 with Citizens United. And of course, in 76, there was Buckley versus Vallejo. And the result of that is that, well, here, this is Judd Legum's newsletter today, popular.info. The average American family last year, in 2020, paid an effective tax rate of 13.6%. That's average, right? Some people paying a whole lot, and some people paying nothing at all. So the average was 13.6%. General Electric reported $7 billion in profits last year. They got a refund of $423 million. They didn't pay taxes on their profits. They got a refund. T-Mobile reported $10 billion in profits last year. They paid $42 million in federal income taxes, 0.4%. Tesla, $3.2 billion in profits. They paid $48 million in federal income taxes, 1.5%. In 2020, quote, 55 of the largest corporations in America paid no federal corporate income taxes, despite enjoying substantial pre-tax profits in the United States. So what does this have to do with the Supreme Court? Well, the Supreme Court said that if you're rich or if you're a corporation, you can buy your very own politician. And those politicians then will introduce legislation to make sure that you never have to pay taxes. I mean, this is where we're at now. We've got, you know, the rich getting richer. We are now the most unequal society in the developed world. And it's all because 5 corrupted billionaires on the U.S., or 5 corrupted Republicans on the U.S. Supreme Court, who are being spiffed by billionaires, buying them vacations, buying them homes for their parents, buying tuition for their kids, flying them around the world on private jets, taking them out on their super yachts, because 5 corrupt Republicans on the Supreme Court decided to legalize political bribery. If Democrats take power in this November, all 3 branches, or all 2 branches, all 3 parts, we've got to do something about this.